Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Thompson Motorsports Park at Thompson International Speedway. Today, we're going to bring you a 40-lap feature event in the iRacing Advanced Legends Series. I'm Aaron Johnson with the Johnson iRacing Network, and today's feature highlights some of the best drivers on the iRacing service at the time this race was offered because it's the top split, the best of the best. Let's have a look at the starting grid. Starting in the 14th spot in car number 13, racing out of Canada, that's Dan Farley. Starting in the 13th spot in car number 10, Corey Saucier from New England. In the 12th starting spot in car number 8, Mark Bartlett out of Hamilton, New Jersey. In the 11th spot in car number 7, that is Tiago Costa racing from the Iberian Peninsula. Tiago in the iRacing Legends Woody. Starting in the 10th spot in car number 11, it's the Hooters Legends car of Brad Almond, Brad from Herculaneum, Missouri. In the 9th starting spot in car number 14, that's Brandon Ditto in the Cannabis car, Brandon out of Ohio. In the 8th starting spot in car number 6, racing out of Ontario, Canada, that's Howard Bentley. In the 7th starting spot in car number 5, he'll show up on your telemetry as 5, on your screen as 58. That is Steve Mullins in the Full Send Graphics car, Steve from Middletown, Virginia. In the 6th starting spot in car number 9, Matthew Moniak, the Rocket Racing Setup Chevrolet from Joliet, Illinois. Starting in 5th in car number 12, that's Kevin Fulton in the Vamanos Pest Control car from Harrisonburg, Virginia. In the 4th starting spot in car number 4, Lee Walker in the Mythos TGR Nation Legends car, Lee from Dorset, England. In the 3rd starting spot in car number 00, he'll show up on your telemetry as car 3. That's Aaron Johnson in the Tostitos Azteca Legends car. Starting on the front row outside in car number 2, the Monster Energy Legends car of Brantley Wise, Brantley from Conway, South Carolina. And on the pole in the Molt Gear Legends car from Michigan, that is Derek Pawlowski. Derek Pawlowski on the pole as the pace car leads the field down the back straightaway. Derek Pawlowski with a good quick race car, ran a great qualifying lap, was fast in practice as well. Johnson set the second fast practice time but qualified 3rd. Lee Walker also running up front. Johnson and Walker are regular in the League of Legends for TDR. Pawlowski takes the lead as they hit the green flag. Derek and Pawlowski with a great start. Down the front straightaway and into turn number 1, it's going to be Pawlowski with the lead, followed by the 2 of Brantley Wise. Pawlowski up front, Wise 2nd, Johnson 3rd, Lee Walker in 4th, then Kevin Fulton in 5th. Derrickson Pawlowski jumps out to a quick early lead, followed by the 2 of Brantley Wise.
Double right there.
In that chromium plated.
Yeah, me too. I had that for kind of check up. I think.
Wise in that chromium plated Legends car. Sorry about that, folks. I don't really like to listen to all these guys chatter, so we'll turn that chatter off. Derek Pawlowski with the lead down the front straightaway. Lap 3 of 40 is just underway. It's Pawlowski with the lead, followed by Wise, Johnson, Walker, Moniak, and Mullins. Those are your top 5. Let's step through the field. Derrickson Pawlowski out front. This is the 2 car of Brantley Wise. Then behind him, the 00, that Tostito car of Aaron Johnson. Johnson working on the 2 of Brantley Wise, trying to find his way around as Pawlowski takes the lead. Johnson looks to the inside. He's going to make the pass on Brantley Wise. Aaron Johnson will move into the 2nd spot with Derek Pawlowski 3rd. Behind Wise, it's the 4 of Lee Walker. Walker racing out of Dorset, England, doing a nice job in the Mythos Legends car. Behind Lee Walker, it's the 9 of Matthew Moniak. Matthew running in the 5th slot. Then behind them, it's the 58 car of Steve Mullins. Behind Mullins, Howard Bentley in the 6th, runs in the 6th spot. Sorry, he's dropped to 7th. And then the 14 of Brandon Ditto running in the 8th position. Behind Ditto is the 11 car, that's Brad Almond in 9th. Then behind Almond, it's a race between the 7 of Tiago Costa and the 10 of Mark Bartlett. Bartlett looks like he's going to hold on to that position. Behind Costa is the 13 of Corey Saucier. The 12 of Kevin Fulton is out of the race. Behind them, sorry, there's the 10 of Corey Saucier. Behind them, we're back to the leader, Derek Pawlowski. We are on lap number 7 of 40. Johnson trying to close on the 1 of Derek Pawlowski. It's Pawlowski, Johnson, Wise, then Walker and Moniak rounding out the top 5. Johnson about 4 car lengths behind the 1 of Derek Pawlowski. Pawlowski leads Johnson as they go past the start-finish line. Johnson is closing. He's now within about a car length and a half of the 1 of Pawlowski. Johnson and Pawlowski out of turn number 2 onto the back straightaway. Johnson closing, doing the best he can to make a run at the 1 of Derek Pawlowski. A little internet lag creating some issues there. Aaron Johnson closing on the back bumper of Derek Pawlowski. We're 8 laps into a 40-lap race. Derek Pawlowski with the lead, but Aaron Johnson in the Tostitos Legends car closing in. Behind Johnson, it's a bit back to the 2 of Brantley Wise. Wise falling into the clutches of the 4 of Lee Walker. Derek Pawlowski leads, Johnson in second. Johnson about a car length and a half back of the 1. Lee Walker has closed in on Brantley Wise. Let's watch that battle between Wise and Walker as the Mythos car closing in. Walker running a slightly lower line than Brantley Wise out of turn number 2 onto the back straightaway. It is Derek Pawlowski, Johnson, Wise, Walker, Moniak, the top 5. Pawlowski and Johnson opening up a fair gap between themselves and the next 2 cars of Wise and Walker. Johnson all over the back bumper of Derek Pawlowski. Johnson in that Tostitos Azteca Legends car, that sort of mustard and red car, out of turn 4 onto the front straightaway. Pawlowski in the Molt Gear Legends car running a nice smooth race here, holding off Johnson up by about a car length and a half. That lead seems to be stable. We are 12 laps into a scheduled 40-lap event. Derek Pawlowski with the lead, Johnson second, Wise third, Walker fourth, Moniak fifth. The top 5 positions have stabilized. Behind Moniak, it's the 58 of Mullins, then Bentley, Farley, Costa, and Bartlett. Brad Allman, Corey Saucier, and Brandon Ditto round out the rest of the field, with Kevin Fulton out of the race. Johnson closing to within about a car length and a half. Can't quite do anything with the 1 of Pawlowski. Pawlowski running a nice smooth race, making no mistakes. It's Pawlowski and Johnson, then Wise and Walker. The 14 car, that is Brandon Ditto. He's up against the wall coming out of 4. That's going to put Ditto a lap down. Johnson closes again down that front straightaway. He seems to get a good run out of 4. Not as good in 1 and 2 as the 1 of Derek Pawlowski. Pawlowski extending the lead to nearly 3 car lengths out of 1 and 2. Johnson closing in 3 and 4. Aaron Johnson seems to be slightly better in 3 and 4. Pawlowski much better in 1 and 2. The net effect is that Johnson and Pawlowski are about as evenly matched as you could expect from 2 Legends cars. Pawlowski with the lead, Johnson second, Wise third, Walker fourth. Earlier in the race, Lee Walker had closed on the 2 of Brantley Wise. Walker now fading slightly and losing some ground to the Monster Energy car of Brantley Wise. Both these cars a significant distance, probably close to 2 seconds behind the leaders, Pawlowski and Johnson. Up front, Johnson looking again to try to find his way under the 1 of Derek Pawlowski. No dice. Derek Pawlowski running a nice smooth race. Johnson doesn't have enough race car to get a fender underneath, but he stays within shouting distance of the 1 of Derek Pawlowski. Let's walk back through the field again. We can see Johnson behind Johnson and Pawlowski. It's the 2 of Wise and the 4 of Walker. Then behind those 2 cars, we see the 9 of Matthew Moniak. Behind Moniak, it's the 58 of Mullins. Then the 6 of Howard Bentley running in the 7th spot. Behind Bentley, it's the 13 of Dan Farley. Farley in 8th. Behind Farley, we see the 7 of Costa. Costa running in the 9th spot. Then behind Costa, it's the 8 of Bartlett, the 10 of Saucier, and the 11 of Allman. Those cars all on the lead lap and battling for position, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So this is the battle for the 10th spot between the 8 of Bartlett, the 10 of Saucier, and the 11th of Allman. Brandon Ditto is out. It looks like the 10 of Saucier is going to make a pass on the 8 of Bartlett. Saucier makes a nice move. Bartlett comes back on the high side. Corey Saucier on the low side, Bartlett on the high side. Saucier trying to hold on. The car gets a little loose coming out of turn number 4, but he makes the pass, and he brings the 11 of Brad Allman with him. That will drop the 8 of Mark Bartlett to the 12th spot. Bartlett, the last car on the lead lap, as Brandon Ditto and Kevin Fulton have exited the race. out front and closing in. It's the one of Derek Pulowski. Johnson just behind Pulowski, about a car length off his bumper. They come out of turn 4 onto the front straightaway. Pulowski and Johnson now closing on the tail end of the lead lap. That's the 8 of Mark Bartlett, the last car on the lead lap. Johnson and Pulowski closing on that pair, really that group, Saucier, Allman, Bartlett. No change in the top 5. It continues to be Pulowski, Johnson, Wise, Walker, and Moniak. Those 5 drivers holding the top 5 positions now for at least the last dozen laps. We are at the halfway point. 20 laps into a 40-lap event. Derek Pulowski with the lead. There are now 19 to go. Pulowski closing on the 8 of Mark Bartlett. Johnson slips back just a bit. Pulowski works his way underneath. Johnson also looks to the underside of the 8 of Mark Bartlett. Bartlett giving the leaders plenty of room, letting these guys race for the win. There are 18 laps to go. Derek Pulowski with the lead, Johnson second, then Wise and Walker a fair bit back of those two, then Matthew Moniak. The same 5 cars run up front as Pulowski leads the field down the back straightaway. They're closing on the 11 of Brad Allman. Allman, that Hooters Legends car, left front of that car banged up just a little bit. Allman must have had some contact early in the race, with Johnson and Pulowski closing quickly on the 11 of Brad Allman. A lot of internet lag at this point in the race. Pulowski closes on the 11 of Allman. He looks to the outside, then to the inside. Allman goes high. Pulowski goes low. Johnson goes underneath with Pulowski. Closes a little bit. It looks like Johnson maybe had a little better timing to make that pass in the corner, but Johnson does not have enough. It's still Derek Pulowski with the lead. Johnson second by about a car length and a half. Pulowski better than Johnson all day in 1 and 2. Sorry. Johnson better than Pulowski all day in 1 and 2, but Pulowski seems to be better in 3 and 4. Johnson closing to within half a car length. The car slides up a bit as they come out of 4. That allows Derek Pulowski to pull away. Pulowski about 3 car lengths ahead after Johnson struggled in 3 and 4. Pulowski in 1 and 2. Johnson closing slightly as they come out of turn number 2 onto the back straightaway. It's still Derek Pulowski with the lead. Aaron Johnson second. Brantley Wise third. Lee Walker fourth, and Steve Mullins in the 5th spot. He's moved past Matthew Moniak, really the first change in the top 5 in about a dozen laps or so, as Steve Mullins makes his way by the 9. Behind Moniak, it's Bentley, Farley, Costa, and Saucier, your top 10, with Brad Allman and Mark Bartlett, 2 cars, a lap down in 11th and 12th respectively. Brandon Ditto and Kevin Fulton are out of the race. Up front, Derek Pulowski leads. Johnson unable to close. You can see a lapped car coming into play. That looks like the 10 of Corey Saucier. Don't know if Saucier will, if that car will come into play, as there's still a fair distance between Saucier and Pulowski. Johnson starting to fade. Now 4 car lengths back as Derek Pulowski pulls away from the 00 of Johnson. Behind Johnson, Brantley Wise remains in the 3rd spot. Lee Walker 4th. Let's check in with Brantley Wise. Brantley Wise has pulled away from Lee Walker. Walker's car fading as well. Now the 58 of Mullins has begun to pull away from the 9 of Moniak. Really not any position racing anywhere on the track. Howard Bentley's by himself. Dan Farley is racing with Tiago Costa. Costa looking to make a pass on Dan Farley. 12 to go. Costa looks to the outside. That race for 8th and 9th spot. Costa now looks to the inside. He's got to run as he looks to the inside of the 13 of Farley. Costa may be able to make the pass as they go into turn number 3. Costa pulls the left front off the ground, and it allows Farley to turn underneath, but it looks like Costa is going to hold on to that position. So Tiago Costa is going to move into the 8th spot. Farley in 9th. Then Corey Saucier is in 10th. Saucier just in front of the leader, Derek Pulowski. Pulowski is pulling away from the 00 of Johnson. Johnson now about 6 car lengths back as Derek Pulowski begins to pull away. Pulowski closing in on the 10 car of Corey Saucier, looking to put that car another lap down, a lap down. Saucier now a lap down. That means that Dan Farley in the 13 is the last car on the lead lap. Johnson trying to go on the high side past the 10 of Saucier as well. Out front, Derek Pulowski's all by himself. He's extended to about a 10 car length lead over the 00 of Aaron Johnson. It's Pulowski, Johnson, Wise, and Walker, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mullins has moved into the 5th spot. Then Moniak and Bentley are 6th and 7th, with Costa and Farley 8th and 9th. Farley, the last car on the lead lap. Derek Pulowski running a nice race at Thompson Motorsport Park, taking good care of equipment and tires. It's going to be Pulowski pulling away from Johnson. Johnson fading as Pulaski remains strong. Johnson about 9 car lengths back. They come to the start-finish line. 8 to go, now 7 to go this time by. It's Derek Pulaski with the lead. Pulaski through the center of 1 and 2, now out onto the back straightaway. A nice, smooth race by Derek Pulaski as he continues to pull away from the 00 of Johnson. Pulaski running a smooth race through the center of 3 and 4, out onto the front straightaway. Johnson attempting to close, but no race car here is going to close on Pulaski unless there's some kind of an incident. It's going to be Derek Pulaski's race to lose. Johnson maybe has made up a small amount of distance on the one of Pulaski, but it looks to me like it's too little, too late. Pulaski pulling Johnson down the back straightaway. It's going to be Pulaski, Johnson, Wise, Walker, Mullins, your top 5. You can see Pulaski running a smooth line, gets that car right up next to the wall as they come past the start-finish line. 5 to go this time by. We can just see the 13 of Dan Farley coming into the field of view. I don't think that car will come into play for the race. As there are 5 laps left, I don't think Pulaski's going to catch Farley. It'll be Pulaski 1, Johnson 2, Wise 3, Walker 4, Mullins 5. 4 to go this time by. Johnson maybe has stabilized now at about a 10 car length deficit to Derek Pulaski, but Johnson just doesn't have enough race car to get the job done today. 4 to go. Pulaski leads. He's closing in on the 13 of Dan Farley. Farley, the last car on the lead lap. The 10 of Saucier spun. Pulaski, I think, reacted to that a little bit, let the car drift up high. Johnson will close just a bit on Pulaski here, maybe close that down to about 8 car lengths, but Aaron Johnson's not going to have enough race car to get this done. We can see Derek Pulaski closing in on the 13 of Dan Farley. Farley running in the 9th spot, the last car on the lead lap. When Pulaski comes by, there'll be 2 to go this time. It's Pulaski 1, Johnson 2, Wise 3, Walker 4. Steve Mullins rounding out the top 5. Pulaski with 2 to go comes out of turn number 2 onto the back straightaway. He's looking to find his way around the 13 of Dan Farley. Farley gives Pulaski the high groove. That's the preferred groove here. If you're going to let someone pass, giving them the high line is the best way to let them by. Pulaski out of turn 4. He'll take the white flag. This time by, it's going to be Derek Pulaski taking the white flag. He also now looks at the 8 car. That's Mark Bartlett, who's 1 lap down. Bartlett gets loose on the inside. Pulaski goes by on the high side. Derek Pulaski down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Johnson has closed a bit more. Aaron Johnson, too little, too late, as Derek Pulaski goes through the center of 3 and 4, now out onto the front straightaway. Derek Pulaski's going to take the win here. Aaron Johnson closes in, but doesn't have enough race car. He's going to finish 2nd. Behind Johnson, it's going to be the 2 of Brantley Wise in 3rd, then the 4 of Lee Walker 4th, with the 58 of Steve Mullins rounding out the top 5. Matthew Moniak will come home 6th, Howard Bentley 7th, Tiago Costa 8th, Dan Farley 9th, and Brad Allman will round out the top 10. That was a good race from Thompson Motorsport Park. Derek Pulaski just had the best car, took best care of his equipment, and at the end of the race, he was strong enough to hold off Aaron Johnson, who was closing. Those 2 cars, the class of the field, as they finish 1-2. For the Johnson iRacing Network, this is Aaron Johnson saying, go fast, turn left, have fun.